She has a malevolent aura in her life. Kefu. My first husband died unexpectedly on his wedding night. Who knows? The red sedan once again came to my door. The person to be married this time is actually the famous third young master of the Jun family in Yun Kingdom.Rumors. He has been unconscious for many years and his life is not long. Everyone is waiting to see her become a widow again. Unexpectedly, on the night of their second marriage, the vegetative husband woke up. Afterwards, in the circles of power, fame and fortune, she wreaked havoc in all directions. That man, who is high and powerful, has even spoiled her to the bone. Until one day, his white moonlight came back with the child. She looked at the small face just like him. Shao, let's get divorced. He imprisoned her in his arms. In my Jun Mo Shang's dictionary, there is no divorce, only widowhood. Chapter 1. Second Marriage. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Feng Lingyan put on a bright red wedding dress for the second time. The person who remarries is the most powerful figure in the Yun Kingdom, the third young master of the Jun family. 4 years ago, Shao was suddenly hit by a car accident, his appearance was completely destroyed, and he is still unconscious. The doctor asserted that he will not survive this winter. Now, it's early autumn. Madame Jun is heartbroken, in order not to leave any regrets. Decided to arrange a marriage for him before his death. This marriage did not originally belong to Feng Lingyan. The person married by the Jun family is her cousin Feng Jiruo. However, uncle's family threatened her sister's fate, and she had to agree to marry on her behalf. Compared to the exorbitant dowry offered by the Jun family, the wedding procession is extremely deserted. 3 black Rolls Royces. Including the driver, there are only 5 people. Feng Lingyan doesn't care, after all, it's not her first marriage. Moreover, her ex-husband died unexpectedly. The people of Anqing privately scolded her as a broom star. Now, her reputation as a Kefu may have to be further strengthened. 2 hours later. Rolls-Royce drove into Jun's old house located in Jingshan. Feeling drowsy, Feng Lingyan took a deep breath and turned his head to look outside the car. Undoubtedly the top aristocrat, the grand mansion built along the mountain is adorned with blue bricks, grey tiles, and a magnificent and imposing layout. The front view and back view provide excellent feng shui. Sitting on such an excellent treasure trove, your family's influence is growing stronger and stronger. Only the population is not interested. The current head of the Jun family, childShe, only has one younger sister. The next generation, also known as Jun Shao, will only have 2 men and 1 woman. The car stopped and Xinyang led Feng Lingyan into the second floor of the West Pavilion. There is no ritual, no music, and no ceremony. Feng Lingyan's fingers tightened. I was lost in thought for a moment. She pushed open the door of the happy room. The crimson color in my eyes was so overwhelming that I couldn't catch my breath. She walked in quickly and opened the window. Fresh air rushed in, and breathing instantly became much more enjoyable. Turning around, my gaze fell on the bright red bed. The man's facial features are deep and angular, with an innate aura of nobility emanating from his eyebrows. His face was calm, as if he had just fallen asleep. But his excessively pale lip color, as well as a terrifying scar running through his neck to the base of his ear, proved that he once hovered on the edge of life and death. Feng Lingyan was stunned. He is Jun Mo Shang. It is rumored that the 3 young men of the Jun family, who were decisive in their killing, ruthless in their cold blood, and with a strong sense of power, were the ones to be overthrown. I don't know why, but seeing him gives me a sense of familiarity. This marriage, each with their own goals, has nothing to do with love. What should be said still needs to be said. Even if the other person is an unconscious vegetative. She sat down on the edge of the bed. Shao, my name is Feng Lingyan. I am your newly married wife. I am 24 years old and have been married once. My identity is not worthy of you. The person you were supposed to marry was my cousin Feng. She refused to marry and sent someone to kidnap my sister. However, don't worry. I will be with you every day in the future. Drop, my phone is ringing. Someone sent her a photo of their sister. Since the Jun family came to propose marriage, she has never seen her sister again. Feng Lingyan's pretty face tightened as she stood up and walked to the window. Soon. The other party called. Sister, let me remind you again. Remember your current identity well. Whether you is doing well or not depends entirely on your performance in the future. Feng Lingyan's pupils shrank, and hatred churned in his eyes. Feng Jiruo, if you dare to touch Yu again, I will immediately tell Madame Jun about the matter of marrying on her behalf. Sister, what kind of family is your family? If you're serious, we can't live, and Yu has to die with us. Anger howled, and Feng Lingyan's eyes turned red with blood. Woo. On my phone, I heard my sisters crying. Feng Lingyan wished he could slap the other person twice. Feng Jiruo, don't go too far. There's something even more outrageous. Sister, the marriage agreement given by the Jun family. Do you know what the last one is? If Shao unfortunately passes away, the Feng family's daughter voluntarily marries Shao in secret. This statement is like a bolt from the blue. Matching Yin marriage. The wind and smoke were like falling into an ice cellar, and all four limbs and bones were emitting a cool breeze. The piercing cold made her tremble all over. Fingers tighten, then tighten again. Finger bones turn white. The phone is about to be crushed. Feng Jiruo's vicious voice varied in intensity. Just this one, the Jun family injected an extra 10 billion yuan into Dad's company. Sister, from now on, you need to take good care of Shao. Only if he lives one more day can you survive. Don't worry. Our family will take good care of Yu for you. Pa, the phone slammed heavily on the floor. From now on, I can no longer be bullied by them like a fool. Feng Lingyan tightly clasped the window lattice, his anger scorching his internal organs, and his eyes turning red with blood. Outside the window. The setting sun sinks obliquely. The vast sunset is like a splendid oil painting. In her eyes, there was an endless darkness. After a moment, she picked up her phone on the ground. Walked to the bed. Looking at the pale and stern face, I gently tugged my lips. Shao, you heard everything just now. Marry you. I was born to be your person, and death was your ghost. If you can't wake up, I'll go to the underworld to accompany you. Oh, it's really ridiculous. The person on the bed remained motionless and could not give her any response. The strong shell shattered with a loud bang. Bitter and tingling, overflowing in the chest. She clenched her fists tightly. It's absurd to want her to be buried. Upon entering the West Pavilion, he became the wife of Shao. To break through, the only way is to make good use of this identity and retrieve everything. Kowtow, someone is knocking on the door. Chapter 2. Medication. You are listening at novel full.audio. Feng Lingyan turned around and looked over. A gentle and clean young man walked in carrying a nanma tray. Young lady. It's time for Shao to take medication. Okay. Feng Lingyan hurriedly got up. Everything here is unfamiliar to her. The young man sensed her embarrassment. Young lady, I am Luo Pingchuan, the general manager of the West Pavilion. As he spoke, he placed the tray on the small round table next to the bed. Unexpectedly, he could only look around 30 and was actually the manager of the West Pavilion. Indeed, a strong general has no weak soldiers under his command. 4 years ago. At the age of 24, Jun Mo Shang has become a rising star among the powerful and influential. He not only held the position of heir to the Jun family, but also established his own vast commercial empire. The world is unpredictable. A bizarre car accident. Let him lose everything. Hello, Manager Luo. Feng Lingyan did not deliberately please or act in a certain way. My gaze fell lightly on the white porcelain medicine bowl. Young lady, madam said. From today on, you will take care of the young master. Luo Pingchuan looked at the steaming soup. You said again. This is the young master's daily life.Saving decoction, you need to take it while it's hot. The word life.Saving is bitten a bit hard. Feng Lingyan understood and nodded lightly. Okay. I got it. Luo Pingchuan turned around, closed the window, and turned on the crystal chandelier in the room. Young lady, if you have anything, please call me anytime. Okay, Feng Lingyan pursed her lips. Luo Pingquan walked out and lightly closed the bedroom door. Feng Lingyan sat down on the edge of the bed, carefully taking a towel and placing it under Jun Mo Shang's chin. Then, he picked up the white porcelain medicine bowl, scooped up a spoonful of soup medicine, and gently brushed it twice. Although she has never taken care of a vegetative, her grandmother has been paralyzed for many years and she has been taking care of her. I am quite experienced. San Shao, take your medicine. Feng Lingyan looked at Jun Mo Shang and called out to him warmly. In the starry eyes, covered with soft light. This. The soup in the porcelain spoon flowed down the sharp corners of the lips towards Jun Mo Shang's neck. Feng Lingyan quickly took a piece of paper and wiped it off, feeling a chill in her heart. He clearly can't eat on his own, he said in a daze. Luo Pingquan just didn't explain, indicating that it was possible before. She wanted to go down and ask what was going on, but was worried that the medicine would lose its efficacy if it cooled down. Anyway, San Shao cannot have any mistakes now. Since he is already his wife, it is only natural for him to do anything. A struggle. A faint crimson color spread behind the ears. She took a sip of the medicine and gently pinched the corner of Jun Mo Shang's mouth, then bent down. Lips and teeth touch each other. Trembling like an electric shock. Feng Lingyan didn't care about shyness and just wanted to feed the medicine as soon as possible. The tip of the tongue pushed hard. Jun Mo Shang finally opened his mouth. The Adam's apple rolled lightly. I swallowed the decoction bit by bit. Feng Ling didn't notice the tobacco shreds at all. She's hand tightly gripped the bedsheet. A bowl of medicine finally bottomed out. At the moment when Feng Lingyan finished taking his last bite and his lips were about to withdraw, Jun Mo Shang suddenly opened his eyes. 4 eyes facing each other. Feng Lingyan's heart was greatly frightened, her heart stopped beating, and she suddenly straightened up. Under the bright light, those eyes were deep and narrow, like peach blossoms and phoenix flowers. The pitch-black pupils are as deep and dangerous as obsidian. San Shao, you're awake. In the dazzling starry eyes of the wind and smoke, a little starlight appeared. San Shao, can you hear me speaking? Jun Mo Shang had no response. Feng Lingyan was greatly shocked and quickly got up. Go downstairs. Manager Luo, the third young master has woken up. Upon hearing the sound, Luo Pingquan immediately went upstairs. The two of them came to the bed of joy. The person on the bed had their eyes tightly closed, and a dark shadow fell from their thick eyelashes. Seemingly asleep. This. Impossible. Just now, he clearly opened his eyes. Young lady, the doctor said that when a vegetative person opens their eyes, it is unconscious, which does not mean they have awakened. Moreover, this is not the first time San Shao has opened his eyes. So it's like this. Grandma, no matter what. This at least proves that San Shao does not reject you. In the future, you can talk to San Shao more. Feng Lingyan's heart throbbed. No exclusion. Not equivalent to acceptance. It is rumored that the third young master of your family is cold and ruthless, and does not approach women. If his mind were clear, his behavior just now would only touch his scales. After Luo Pingchuan left, she sat down in front of the bed again. Unconsciously, his gaze fell on Jun Mo Shang's sharp lips. The restrained and sharp M.-shaped lip line gives a strong sense of abstinence. Perhaps I have just been drugged, and my lips are not as pale anymore. Feng Lingyan was slightly absent-minded, and an equally handsome face couldn't help but come to mind. The heart felt like a long needle piercing through, spreading densely and continuously. If it weren't for that accident, Jing Hao and I wouldn't have been separated forever. I wouldn't have married San Shao either. Jing Hao. Her ex-husband. 4 years ago. On the wedding night. Accidental death. My thoughts drifted away, and the corners of my eyes felt a slight pain. She looked at Jun Mo Shang, who was sleeping quietly, and thought that he might also die young like Jing Hao, with a light curl on his lips and a cold and clear light covering his starry eyes. San Shao, fate treats you so unfairly. I am not willing to accept it, and you must not be willing either. San Shao, don't give up until the last moment. I believe you. You will definitely wake up. San Shao. Marry you. I am your wife. I will do my best to help you retrieve everything. The misty thoughts blurred Feng Lingyan's vision. A person lying in bed. My eyelids twitched. After washing up, Feng Lingyan changed into a set of silk pajamas and sat against the bedside. The drooping gaze fell on the side of Jun Mo Shang's neck. That ugly scar really destroyed his beauty in his prime. She lay down and looked closely. The scar is somewhat thick and the cortex is severely damaged. Repairing it is indeed somewhat difficult. However, there is not a lack of hope. With the financial resources and power of the Jun family, the top experts in the Cloud Country can be invited. There is no reason why medicine is not good. San Shao, maybe I can help you. Creaking. The bedroom door was suddenly pushed open by someone. A frivolous man walked in and, upon seeing Feng Lingyan, curled his lips in a seductive manner. Sister-in-law. Feng Lingyan's heart froze, and a cold smile flashed through her eyes. Fleeting. The information about Luo Pingquan is indeed absolutely true. Some members of the Jun family not only want to take away Jun Mo Shang's wealth and rights, but also want to shamelessly humiliate and harm him. In front of San Shao, defile his newlywed wife. What is more insulting than this? Once this matter is exposed, the 3 young masters of the once lofty Jun family will completely become a joke for the entire Yun country. She. A woman who brings shame to the Jun family. I didn't have to wait for the funeral, so I was sent directly to the underworld. Chapter 3. Breaking the Game. You are listening at novel full.audio. Feng Lingyan's eyes tightened as she rolled out of bed. Cold voice asked. Who are you? My sister.In.Law doesn't know me. The man walked unsteadily to the end of the bed, his eyes fixed on her. I am Lu Ningchen. Feng Lingyan saw that his entire face was covered in unhealthy redness, and his heart was clear. San Shao, this cousin, has taken a lot of aphrodisiacs. Master Lu, do you know where this is? Do you also know who I am? Of course I know. This is my 3rd brother's bedroom. You are my 3rd sister.In.Law. Today is your big day. Lu Ningchen's body was scorching hot, and looking at that beautiful and unparalleled face, he wished he could kiss Fangzi immediately. He rushed forward impatiently. Master Lu, if you don't go out again, I'll have to call someone. Feng Lingyan pretended to be frightened and avoided. In a panic, he also casually smashed an antique ornament. Call someone. Sister-in-law, don't bother. Luo Pingquan and the others have already been called away by Big Brother's people. Feng Lingyan's face was extremely panicked, and her voice trembled. Impossible. Lu Ningqian's gaze fell recklessly on her chest, her eyes narrowed and nauseating. Sister-in-law, big brother said that third brother married a celestial being. It's really. Sister-in-law, you're such a beautiful person. Marrying my third brother would be a great loss. A sharp chill burst out from the eyes of Fengling Yanqing, flashing past. With a blink of his eyelashes, the tail of his eyes turned red. The tone carries a hint of pleading. Mr. Lu, please go out. Lu Ningqian not only didn't leave, but also leaned closer. He gave a heavy pat on the chest. Sister-in-law, today is your and my third brother's wedding night. What he can't do, I'll do it for him. The greedy and sticky gaze, as well as the frivolous and promiscuous words, made Feng Lingyan nauseous and nauseous. If it weren't for the evidence not being recorded yet, I would have slapped it a long time ago. She suppressed her anger and ran away in a panic. Master Lu, don't come over. Sister-in-law, don't run away. Chasing. Avoid. Many objects in the room were knocked down, and the ground was in a mess. As she was about to be chased, Feng Lingyan grabbed the pillow on the sofa, resisted the protruding colored claws, and retreated in panic. Master Lu, are you so bold? Aren't you afraid that the third young master will wake up and punish you? Lu Ningqian stopped and looked at Jun Mo Shang, who was motionless, shrugged his shoulders. There was a hint of provocation in the greedy gaze. Are you joking? Third brother won't live for a few days, and he woke up and punished me. Do you think he's still the third young master of the Jun family before? Jun family, it's already my big brother's world. Enough evidence. Feng Lingyan's hand was about to reach out to the alarm. Lu Ningqian, you're looking for death. A deep voice that captures the soul. Feng Lingyan's eardrum pricked. My mind instantly went blank. Slow down and let your eyes droop. The man on the bed has already opened his eyes. That pair of narrow and profound eyes, like an abyss that is bottomless, carrying the magic of absorption, as if they are about to devour everything. Ah ah ah. Lu Ningqian fell to the ground as if seeing a ghost. Third brother. You. Feng Lingyan rubbed her eyes and lowered her head again. Jun Mo Shang woke up. I really woke up. His cold ink pupils were filled with surging emotions. At this moment, he was like a newly awakened beast, terrifying and sinister. San Shao, you're awake. He looked at her, the eagle-like sharp eyes burst out with complex emotions of tearing. She can't see through. I can't guess either. Who are you? The dull male voice was imbued with restrained anger and icy indifference. The wind and smoke calmed the mind, the eyebrows raised lightly, and the starry eyes were open. I am your newly married wife, the third youngest grandmother of the Jun family. At this point, she had no way out and could only grit her teeth and move forward. Ha! Jun Mo Shang's sarcastic and cold sneer made Feng Lingyan's heart beat like a drum, and his back felt cold. He suddenly woke up and interrupted her plan. She looked at Lu Ningqian, who had collapsed on the ground and lost all his soul, and boldly asked. San Shao, how should this person be dealt with? Jun Mo Shang's face was cold and indifferent, ignoring her questions. Air stagnation. Breathing carries a chill. Feng Lingyan hesitated for a moment before pressing the alarm at the bedside. Lu Ningqian was taken away by someone. The air in the room is so quiet that it is terrifying. Feng Lingyan stood by the bed, his drooping eyes full of vigilance. The man in sight has deep eyebrows and eyes, a high and straight nose bridge, and sharp and cold facial features. He used to flip his hands over clouds and rain, playing with everything in his hands. Even after 4 years of unconsciousness, waking up with the same aura. Staring at her, as if looking at an ant that could be crushed to death at will. The extremely predatory gaze aroused Feng Lingyan's pride and resilience in her bones. Fingertips pressed against the palm of the hand, lightly curled the corner of the lips, and smiled. "San Shao, should I introduce myself again?" Jun Mo Shang's ink pupils shrank, and a dangerous aura overflowed. The bright red house has an extra touch of gray. Feng Lingyan tightly clenched her fist to suppress the unease and panic in her heart. "My name is Feng Lingyan. 24 years old. Married once. PhD in biology from Peking University." A deep voice, calm and composed. "San Shao. You." Feng Lingyan's heart beats like thunder, and his face turns pale instantly. Originally, he had already developed consciousness. When others speak, he not only listens clearly, but also remembers clearly. "So. Is it about feeding medicine?" The wind and smoke turned red behind my ears. In confusion, Jun Mo Shang spoke again. "A second married woman dares to aspire to become my wife." This sound was cold and solemn. Like a wild beast that has been invaded by territory. Upon hearing these words, Feng Lingyan's scalp tingled. The chill emanating from the back transformed into a venomous snake, slowly entangled around the neck. Deep shame makes breathing extremely difficult. Blood all over the body, freezing little by little. She knows very well that paper cannot contain fire. The Jun family will eventually know all of this, but they didn't expect it to be so soon. My sister's pitiful little face flashed through my mind, and my heart pounded into my throat. "Feng Lingyan. Stay calm. Don't panic." Faced with such a strong, ruthless, and cold-blooded man, one must muster up 12 points of courage. Fingertips pierce through the palm of the hand, then bite hard at the corner of the lips, causing a deep pain that slowly boils the blood. Beautiful starry eyes, especially bright. Take a closer look, with fearless stubbornness and persistence. "San Shao, my identity is naturally not worthy of you. But I've been a big help to you today. And from now on, you still need me." Feng Lingyan stopped and pursed her lips. The blood oozing from the corners of the mouth is like a bright red azalea. Jun Mo Shang had already sat up and leaned against the back of the bed. The deep eyes exuded a bone-chilling chill. "Need it." He sarcastically curled his lips and sneered. Feng Lingyan's heart contracted and his back tightened. At this point, she cannot turn back, let alone bow her head. "San Shao, today's matter. I am both a party involved and a victim. I'm afraid I won't be able to do it without my presence." The ethereal tone carries great confidence. Jun Mo Shang furrowed his brows invisibly, and a dark tide arose in his heart. This woman, who looks obedient and gentle, actually falls into the dust and is full of pride. Interesting. Chapter 4. Selection. You are listening at novel full.audio. Is that right? Jun Mo's thin lips parted lightly. The cold and eerie gaze carried a hint of playfulness. "San Shao, I have instructed General Manager Luo to inform all the elders of your family. They will all be present later." Feng Lingyan looked at Jun Mo Shang without fear of the forest cold in his eyes. Give a slight smile. Curved eyebrows and eyes, like a new moon. Jun Mo Shang lightly raised his eyebrows, his deep eyes half smiling. His attitude left Feng Lingyan slightly stunned. However, at this point, she didn't have time to ponder his thoughts. "San Shao, someone has humiliated your newlywed wife. No matter how you teach, it is only natural." Feng Lingyan's eyes showed an imperceptible sharpness. Jun Mo Shang can see very clearly. He looked at her quietly, his eyes dim and unclear. "There are not many descendants in your family. Plus Lu Ningqian, her peers are only 3 men and 1 woman. Unfortunately, those 3 people stood in opposition to him. Tonight is indeed a good opportunity to suppress them. San Shao, if you think it's not good, then I'll have manager Luo. Good means. Jun Mo's thin lips lightly parted, interrupted by a cold voice. San Shao, I'm flattered. Feng Lingyan's lips curved upwards, revealing a faint smile. The clenched fingers gradually loosened. Palm, already covered in blood red. How can I thank you for helping me so much? Jun Mo's sharp lips curved with a hint of inexplicable coldness. Thank you. Feng Lingyan was taken aback for a moment. His words were somewhat unexpected to her. It is rumored that the third young master is unpredictable, decisive in killing and ruthless in his cold blood. The person in front of me, although also strong and arrogant, is cold and indifferent. But the feeling she felt was not so scary, on the contrary, there was a sense of familiarity. This familiarity may be due to his three-dimensional facial features, which somewhat resemble the dead Jing Hao. Since he asked, her answer was yes. If San Shao really wants to thank me, then give me a divorce agreement. In Luo. Feng Lingyan's heart thumped for a moment, and her fingers slowly curled up again. Impulsive. This matter will need to be brought up at least for some time. Today is their wedding night. He just woke up again. Even if he had to mention it, he would have spoken first. Are you going to divorce? Jun Mo Shang turned his head and looked at her. Deep ink pupils, like the night outside the window, exude boundless coldness. San Shao, you said the same. A woman like me is not worthy to be your wife. Feng Lingyan taunted and curled his lips. Help you conceal your identity. Divorce. Choose between two. San Shao. You. Feng Lingyan's heartbeat was like thunder, and the light in her eyes flickered. She was mentally prepared to bear his criticism. I didn't expect him to make such a choice. What does this mean? Jun Mo Shang looked cold and stern, giving her a sidelong glance. The furrowed brow was frozen with impatience. San Shao, I choose the former. Feng Lingyan can only choose this way. This marriage cost Yun Xie 2 billion yuan. If she were to know that the daughter.In.Law who was married at a high price was a second married widow. Everyone in the Feng family has to finish playing. Including innocent younger sister. However, what puzzled her was. Jun Mo Shang unexpectedly accepted her and even took the initiative to help her conceal personal information. He is not a great kind-hearted person. It's also impossible to sincerely thank her. What is his motive behind doing this? Knocking. The knocking on the door interrupted the conversation between the two. San Shao, Shao grandma, everyone is here. Got it. Feng Lingyan clenched her fingers and her heart sank. No matter what. Take a step, take a look. Let's finish the play first. She forcibly calmed down and tilted her head to smile at Jun Mo Shang. San Shao. Please move. Half an hour later. Feng Lingyan pushed Jun Mo Shang down the elevator to the first floor. In the hall, a group of people had already been sitting in darkness. All members of the Jun family, including other senior relatives in the Jingshan area, have arrived, and even Lady Jun, who is fasting and worshipping Buddha in the temple, has been brought back. The sound of the wheelchair crushing was heard. The discussion and pleasantries came to an abrupt end. Everyone's gaze was projected onto the past. The man in the wheelchair has deep facial features, a straight posture, and a noble and cold demeanor all around him. Wearing a cheetah full diamond brooch in a black suit, and a dark tailless bee embroidered on the collar of a shirt. Under the bright light, there is a sense of mystery and coldness. The woman behind him was as white as snow, with a delicate nose bridge, a small mouth, and a pair of starry eyes shining brightly. Wear a plain long dress and tie a low bun. It is already beautiful like a late-night blooming Yuten flower. Crystal lighting, even more dazzling and dazzling. The temperature in the hall suddenly dropped rapidly. Are you awake? Jun Xiujin, sitting in the main seat, looked at the two with sharp and majestic eyes. I woke up, you're very disappointed. Jun Mo Shang's face remained calm and he spoke coldly. A ruthless tone of statement is like a sharp blade hitting the opponent's heart. You. Jun Shojin's face turned black and he was so angry that he couldn't speak. The elders in the hall originally wanted to greet Jun Mo Shang. Seeing this, all thoughts were dispelled. At this moment, the three young masters of the Jun family are like a awakened beast. The danger overflowed, even more terrifying than 4 years ago. Mo Shang. Madame Yun Kingdom stood up and welcomed her. Then, looking at Feng Lingyan, he smiled kindly at her. Daughter.In.Law. Mom. Feng Lingyan gave her a heartwarming smile. Yun Kingdom took her arm and pushed Jun Mo Shang together to the middle of the hall. Daughter.In.Law, today you have really been wronged. Don't worry. Grandma, Dad, and all the elders will definitely give you a fair treatment. Everyone understands. Yun Kingdom's words may seem to comfort Feng Lingyan, but they are actually putting pressure on Jun Shojin. Feng Lingyan entered the scene in 1 second, bit the corner of her lips heavily, and her eyes immediately turned red. A new bride with a look of grievance and sadness. She lowered her head and lightly responded. Humiliating me is a small matter, tarnishing the reputation of San Shao is a big matter. In 2 short sentences, the severity of the problem has been clearly stated. A group of elders pondered together. This woman is not simple. The man in the wheelchair looked displeased on his face, but a slight ripple rose in his heart. Today's matter, without her, it really wouldn't be possible. Lu Ningqian, dressed in disheveled clothes, collapsed like a puddle of mud on the ground. Seeing Jun Mo Shang again, he was so scared that he almost passed away on the spot. Third brother. No, don't. Jun Mo Shang glanced down at him, his sharp eyes like knives, and his murderous aura surged everywhere. Third brother, I was wrong. Please spare me this time. With tears in his eyes, Lu Ningqian exerted his last bit of strength and climbed up to the wheelchair, reaching out to pull at his pants. Feng Lingyan exerted force and pulled the wheelchair back. Bang! Lu Ningqian's chin accidentally hit the ground, 2 of his teeth knocked out, and his mouth was covered in blood. Feng Lingyan glanced at him, and the contempt in his eyes flashed away. In the middle of the night, you called everyone over. What exactly do you want to do? Jun Shojin looked at Lu Ningqian, who was on the brink of death, with an unpleasant expression on his face. Anyway, that's also his only nephew. He also shed the blood of the Jun family on his body. What are you doing? Jun Mo Shang sitting in a wheelchair, his eyes slightly drooping, his long eyelashes sweeping down numerous shadows. A faint cold smile curled from the corner of the mouth, making people unpredictable and fearful. Chapter 5. Protecting Wife. You are listening at novel full.audio. He is 5 meters away from Jun Shojin, but it still seems to be separated by an insurmountable chasm. Breaking into my west pavilion at night and humiliating my wife. Everyone, what do you say I want to do? Jun Mo Shang's ink pupils shrank, and his fierce gaze was like 1,000 cold arrows shooting in all directions. The crowd in the hall couldn't help but shudder. Standing behind Jun Mo Shang, Feng Lingyan's eyes drooped slightly, his long eyelashes covering his cold and proud gaze. In my heart, a hint of warmth emanated from the phrase, my wife. She knew that this statement couldn't be taken seriously. He already knew her identity and kept her, but for another purpose. This. The elders looked at each other, both hesitant and unable to speak. Madame Jun twisted the Buddhist beads and squinted her eyes. Starting from today, the Lu family of 3 will leave Jingshan. From now on, they will not be allowed to return without my orders. As for Jun Zhaohe, when he returns from Shihe, he will inquire about everything and then impose punishment. Jun Shojin's eyes tightened and he immediately pronounced the verdict. Upon hearing this, Lu Ningchen's eyes rolled white and he fainted to death. Everyone in the hall could hear that Jun Shujin was clearly protecting his eldest son Jun Zhaohe. A group of elders looked at Jun Mo Shang together. What do you think? Jun Mo's cold lips parted lightly. The deep and profound gaze, with extremely strong penetration, can easily crush people's hearts at a glance. Everyone felt a chill all over, completely afraid to look at him. The vast hall was completely silent. I'm not satisfied with this result. Jun Mo Shang's gaze swept over coldly and stopped on Jun Shujin's face, which was as black as the bottom of a pot. He was sitting in a wheelchair, but his aura was icy cold. In front of a group of elders, one is as noble as a young emperor. Jun Shujin was choked again and suddenly stood up, angrily rebuking. What exactly do you want? Someone here. Jun Mo's eyes darkened as he coldly ordered. Send Lu Ningchen to Shishan. You. Jun Shujin's black face turned white. Shishan is the strictest detention center in Jingshan. A normal person who stays inside for 3 days will go crazy when they come out. As for Jun Zhaohe, I'll settle the matter with him when he comes back. The word liquidation is both cold and cool, biting extremely hard. As the words fell, the air seemed to freeze and breathing became very difficult. The entire hall was deathly silent. Jun Shujin was both shocked and angry. For a moment, lift your finger towards him. Jun Mo Shang, do you still have my father in your eyes? You don't see me as a son in your eyes. Jun Mo Shang's face darkened, and his facial features were sharp and cold. The accentuated tone makes one's spine tense and sweat profusely. Feng Lingyan stood quietly behind Jun Mo Shang, her delicate lips slightly rising. From the bottom of my heart, I couldn't help but sigh. The third young master of your family is indeed not an ordinary person. Even sitting in a wheelchair, the deterrent force is still so strong that no one can match it. You. Jun Shujin was so angry that he was about to faint, his fingers trembling uncontrollably. Now that I am awake, Jun Zhaohe has no reason to occupy the position of heir. The cold and merciless voice is like a 1,000-year-old glacier. Jun Shujin felt like he was hitting him hard, his body swayed and he almost fell. The elders took a cold breath. Originally, Jun Mo Shang invited them here for the main purpose. On that day, if it weren't for the doctor saying that his life was not long, they would never have agreed to let Jun Zhaohe become the new heir of the Jun family. Jun Shujin deliberately favors Jun Zhaohe and is unwilling to let go. But if he doesn't agree to this posture, Jun Mo Shang is afraid that he will not be able to leave the West Pavilion. The heir's sword was at a loss. Lao San is right, no matter what, he is the legitimate son of the Jun family. Madame Jun slowly woke up and spoke to break the deadlock. Everyone immediately agreed. San Shao said that the heir of the Jun family can only be him. Jun Shujin's face turned dark, and he forcefully supported his body, fiercely gouging out Jun Mo's hang. Okay. It's all up to you. Upon hearing this, Feng Lingyan leaned over slightly, whispering in her ear. Congratulations to San Shao. The man in the wheelchair had cold and silent eyes, his sharp lips lightly curled, and he whispered back. Tongshi. Feng Lingyan was taken aback. Me. Where does joy come from? This big play has finally come to an end. Everyone left one after another. Surprised and delighted, Yun Xie lightly stroked the back of Feng Lingyan's hand. Daughter.In.Law, if it weren't for you, Mo Shang wouldn't have woken up so quickly. I must thank you well. Feng Lingyan rolled her lips but remained silent. To Madame Jun, she harbors resentment. The matter of matching in marriage is really frustrating. Yun Xie turned her head to look at her son and choked up. Mo Shang, these 4 years. For you, Mom has done everything she can for you. Jun Mo Shang calmly returned to her. Even my marriage after death has been predetermined. Mo Shang, you. Yun Kingdom paused and looked at Feng Lingyan in astonishment. Daughter.In.Law, did you tell him? It's me. Feng Lingyan tightly grasped the wheelchair pusher with both hands, her eyes drooping, indescribably obedient and gentle. Upon closer inspection, the starry eyes were cold and aloof, exuding a cold and proud aura. You should go back now. Jun Mo Shang directly issued an order to expel guests. Oh, good. Yun Kingdom was really happy today, and she didn't even take this little incident to heart. When I left, I even hugged Feng Lingyan. Take a good rest. Mom will come and see you tomorrow. Okay, Feng Lingyan rolled her lips and nodded politely. The West Pavilion has regained its former tranquility. Feng Lingyan pushed Jun Mo Shang back to the master bedroom on the second floor. Luopingquan followed in with 2 bowls of sweet soup. San Shao, young lady. This is the sweet soup that Madam asked the kitchen to prepare for you. It symbolizes your future life, smooth and prosperous, sweet and honey. There is one more sentence. Having a precious son early. He didn't dare to say it. You can put it on the table first. Feng Lingyan glanced at her and said in a casual manner. Smooth and efficient. Sweet and honey. In the future, I'm afraid it will be difficult. Bitterness leads to deep hatred. Young lady. Madam specifically reminds you to watch as you finish drinking. Luopingquan lowered his head and looked at the floating red dates, longans, and goji berries in a white porcelain bowl. Feng Lingyan didn't want to make things difficult for him. After all, if it weren't for him, he might have become a sacrifice in the struggle of the Jun family. Take a bite and the taste is pretty good. I don't know if I'm hungry. Unconsciously, the porcelain bowl bottomed out. San Shao, the taste is pretty good. Would you like to? Feng Lingyan turned her head and found that Jun Mo Shang was missing. What about San Shao? Maybe I went to the restroom. Give it to me. Feng Lingyan took the tray from Luopingquan's hand. You go down and rest first. Yes, young lady. Luopingquan couldn't help but beg. Creaking. The carved wooden door closed tightly. Feng Lingyan placed the tray on the small round table, changed into clothes, and went to the storage room to pack his luggage. Although Jun Mo Shang left her behind, she didn't think that the heir of the noble Jun family would let a second married widow sleep beside her. Instead of humiliating oneself and letting him drive away. It's better to move out early and have peace of mind. There wasn't much luggage, it was packed quickly. Uncle received a dowry of 2 billion yuan, but did not give her any money as a dowry. Fortunately, her paintings occasionally sell a few copies. Although the price is not particularly high, it adds up to a considerable amount. She saved all this money. Prepare to undergo surgery on my sister in a few months. Perhaps due to packing her luggage, she felt a bit hot. Sitting on the small stool for a while. Unexpectedly, not only did my body not cool down, but my mood also inexplicably became restless. Why is the air conditioning on so high? She quickly got up and adjusted the indoor temperature to 16 degrees. It still doesn't work. A fire ignited in my heart, and some inexplicable impulse ignited a prairie fire. Chapter 6. Out of Control. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Feng Lingyan opened the small refrigerator in the storage room and took out a bottle of ice water from inside. Gulyalu drank it clean in one breath. Damn it. The fire inside the body not only did not extinguish, but also burned stronger and stronger. She was wearing a pullover and could only grab the hem, constantly fanning. Her slender waist is tinged with a light pink hue. Fan by fan, irrational thoughts suddenly arose in my mind, and everything in my sight gradually began to overlap. Sweet soup. This lady is really despicable. As soon as Jun Mo Shang woke up, she added something to them. I don't care if my son can handle it. No way. Even if 3 young people can do it. She can't either. The outcome of this marriage is definitely going its separate ways. Less involvement, naturally the best. Especially physically. Damn it. What if Shao also drinks? Feng Lingyan hurriedly ran out of the storage room. Shao. Don't drink. The strength was gradually drained away, and I felt my knees soften and my vision became increasingly blurred. Bang, she didn't know what she had bumped into, so she frowned in pain. The wind blows through the smoke. The clear male voice seems to come from a distant horizon. She blinked her eyes and vaguely saw a cold, proud, and noble face. Jing Hao. No. Shao. Unconsciously, she raised her hand, wanting to gently stroke her cold and thin lips. Hiss. My wrist is being pinched and it hurts a lot. My rationality has become slightly clearer. What are you doing? A deep voice, enveloped in restrained anger and a muffled meaning. Shao. The sound of wind and smoke is soft and lingering. My eyes gradually became blurred, and a clear and handsome face flashed quickly in my mind. Jinghao. No, it's not Jinghao. Wind Lingyan. With this sound, the anger had been suppressed to the limit. Aha. Under the soft moans, Feng Lingyan lifted her shirt again. A slender waist, with a plump grip. The scent of plunder roared in, and she only felt it getting hotter and hotter. Jun Mo Shang looked at the woman who had fallen into her arms. She squinted her eyes and frowned. Her delicate face was tinged with a charming crimson hue, and her cracked lips oozed blood, like ripe tomatoes. Shao. Her slender arms gripped his neck, and the soft and fragrant heat gradually spread in his ear. Jun Mo Shang's eyebrows twitched, and his lower jaw-line became extremely tight. No matter how strong the self-control is, it cannot withstand the gentle attack of this woman. He hugged her in his arms, whispered in his ear, and said something. Jun's family. You shouldn't have come. Pop. Turn off all the lights in the room. In the darkness, heavy breaths and seductive moans came from the air. Feng Lingyan woke up in a daze, feeling heavy on his head and light on his feet, as if he had been run over by wheels. What's going on? Clench your fist with your left hand and tap your head. Memory rewind, last night's loss of control surged out like a tide. She and Shao had a marital ceremony last night. It seems like she took the initiative. Feng Lingyan dare not think further. She sat up suddenly. Take a deep breath and carefully lift the blanket. Seeing everything in front of me, my frantic heartbeat slightly calmed down. The clothes are neat and tidy, and there are no traces of red, purple on the body. Even the bed sheets are not a bit messy. Did you just have a spring dream last night? Why is the feeling of the body so real? Creaking. Someone pushed the door in. She wrapped herself tightly in the blanket. Quickly, Yun Kingdom walked to the bed with a rosewood box in hand. Daughter.In.Law. Mom. Seeing the wind and smoke, I lifted the blanket and prepared to wake up. It's nothing, there's no need to wake up so early. The West Pavilion is not like the main residence, there aren't so many rules. Yun Kingdom walked quickly to the bedside and pressed her shoulder with one hand. Feng Lingyan had to sit and look out the window. The blackout bed curtain has been opened, and the warm autumn light shines through the white window curtain. Light and shadow float, both dreams and illusions. Yun Kingdom placed the rosewood box on the blanket, raised her hand, and wanted to tidy up Feng Lingyan's hair. Don't. Feng Lingyan frowned and dodged. Yun Kingdom awkwardly put down her hand. Daughter.In.Law, are you angry? Mom added a little something to your sweet soup. The wind and smoke are so infuriating and hateful that they are speechless. Mom knows this is not right. It's because Mom was acting too hastily. I was thinking, if you can have a child early, then Jun Zhaohe will have no chance to take advantage of it. Yun Xiye's face was full of apologies, paused, and the corners of her eyes slightly turned red. Feng Lingyan lowered his eyes, his appearance not gentle. We still need to have the attitude we should have. Mom, I know your original intention was to stabilize San Shao's position. But this approach is not just for me, and San Shao will not agree. Don't worry. It won't happen in the future, Yun Xiye nodded. Silence for 2 seconds. She lowered her voice. Daughter.In.Law, did you and Mo Shang last night? No. Feng Lingyan shook her head. She is not sure if there is, but she does not want it. A hint of disappointment flashed in Yun Xiye's eyes, but a smile still hung at the corner of her mouth. It's okay. You and Mo Shang have been together for a long time. Don't worry about this for a while. She opened the rosewood box. Daughter.In.Law, this dragon pendant is a token of the heir of the Jun family. I have taken it back. Mom, this is too expensive. I can't take it. Feng Lingyan quickly refused. I don't know how long she can go through this marriage with San Shao. Perhaps 1 month, maybe 3 months, or even a year anyway, we can't get to the white end. This is your thing, put it away quickly, Yun Xiye paused and explained again. Remember to take good care of it and never lose it. Feng Lingyan suddenly felt a heavy burden weighing 1,000 pounds on his shoulders. After washing up, Feng Lingyan saw the sky was beautiful and chose a cloud lake color tie-dye long dress. She is tall and slim, and looks very artistic when dressed. Yun Xiye prepared several cabinets of new clothes for her, all of which were high-end limited edition items. But she still thinks her old clothes are suitable. Young lady. San Shao is in the rehabilitation room. Feng Lingyan went downstairs and encountered the Luoping River. Before he could speak, the other party told Jun Mo Shang's whereabouts. I'll go take a look. Young lady, this way. Luo Pingchuan led Feng Lingyan to the entrance of the rehabilitation room on the first floor. Jun Mo Shang is practicing walking under the guidance of a professional physician. Wearing white sportswear, he rested his arms on the rehabilitation pole, slowly lifted his feet, bent his knees, and took steps. San Shao, you can take a slight step back. Yes. Stand firm before taking a step. The doctor is providing careful guidance on the side. Perhaps lying down for too long, Jun Mo Shang felt very tired every step he took, and the veins on his forehead burst out. Feng Lingyan looked at her, feeling a hint of heartache in her heart for no reason, with a slight tinge in her eye sockets. She is not a person with a flood of Madonna's heart. This feeling is simply because of his face that bears some resemblance to Jing Hao. Chapter 7. Overcoming. You are listening at novelfull.audio. San Shao. Don't worry. I don't know if it's because the steps are too big or if the limbs are not well coordinated. Jun Mo Shang bent his knees and almost fell. One hand detached from the training stick. San Shao, are you okay? Feng Lingyan's face turned pale with fear, and he rushed over in a hurry, holding onto his arm. Dr. Luo Pingchuan gave the doctor a glance. The doctor understood and stood respectfully on the side. San Shao, that's all for today's training. I'll go down first. Jun Mo Shang responded coldly. San Shao, are you tired or not? Feng Lingyan looked up and asked him. There is a slight concern in the eyes. She didn't even realize it herself. Jun Mo Shang glanced at her. A faint light flashed through the bottom of my eyes, fleeting in a flash. Feng Lingyan was stunned when she saw a thin layer of sweat floating on his forehead. I know, it must be very tiring. Perhaps due to standing for a long time, Jun Mo Shang couldn't hold on anymore. The hand holding the training pole suddenly loosened, and his whole body tilted towards Feng Lingyan. San Shao. Be careful. Feng Lingyan gritted his teeth and exerted all his strength to pull him. The power is far from enough. Ah! The next second, both of them fell to the ground. The posture of falling to the ground is extremely ambiguous. Jun Mo Shang threw himself all over Feng Lingyan. His mouth pressed straight against her rosy lips. Through their thin clothes, their hearts intertwined. The sharp lips are not as cold as when I was feeding medicine yesterday. Warm, with a hint of fishy sweetness. The corner of Feng Lingyan's mouth, scabbed with smoke, cracks open again. Thorn to the point of my heart trembled suddenly, and the lake of my heart stirred up huge waves. Last night's affection was still like a dream, and the scene at this moment cannot be more realistic. Jun Mo's obsidian-like pupils reflect her panicked face. Luo Pingquan heard the cry of Feng Lingyan and quickly ran over. Seeing this situation, he silently stepped back and closed the door of the rehabilitation room. The eyes were misaligned, and Feng Lingyan tilted his head. Air explodes and oxygen is insufficient. Approaching a height of 1.9 meters, she was almost suffocated by the pressure. Miss Yan, San Shao is currently training and no one can enter. The sound of obstruction from Luo Pingquan had not yet settled, and the door to the rehabilitation room was suddenly pushed open. Third brother, I heard you woke up. What are you doing? The female voice that followed was like a sudden rush of perfume. The top note is sweet and greasy, the middle note is warm, and the tail key is dark. The suppressed wind and smoke couldn't even see anyone. What is the situation? Miss Yan. Luo Pingquan's voice sounded somewhat panicked. Miss Yan. Feng Lingyan hesitated for a moment and wanted to turn her head to take a look. Her tall body pressed her tightly, unable to move at all. She could only see the cold and calm face above. Starry eyes sink into the ink abyss. Like the night adorned with stars. Jun Mo Shang's face was calm, but his heart was filled with waves. Third brother, didn't Manager Luo say you were training? Who is this woman? The woman at the door was shocked for a few seconds. Red-eyed, trembling throat questioning. Miss Yan, she is. Get out. Jun Mo Shang interrupted Luo Ping River, his deep and cold voice resembling the melting snow of an iceberg. Feng Lingyan thought he was talking about her, and instinctively responded, placing his hands on his sturdy chest. San Shao, you need to get up first. Get lost. Jun Mo Shang glanced at the door, his eyes filled with an icy pool. The person in sight froze instantly. Third brother, I'll wait for you outside. The sound of high heels kicking and kicking shook the floor. The door to the rehabilitation room is closed again. Feng Lingyan just realized that he wasn't talking about her just now. The oxygen inhaled into her lungs became less and less, and her delicate little face turned red. Her starry eyes lit up with a hint of starlight. Open your mouth. San Shao. You. Hurry up. Get up. Jun Mo Shang pressed on top of her, feeling the softness of her body. Some thoughts grow freely. If we continue, we may lose control like last night. He took a deep breath, propped his hands on the ground, and straightened his upper body. Who? Feng Lingyan breathed heavily, feeling his throat smoking. Coincidentally, the sweat from Jun Mo Shang's forehead dripped onto her lips. Her lips tingled, she lightly pursed, and the salty bitterness pierced into her mouth. My throat suddenly caught fire. Another drop fell on her face. Then it rolled down her cheeks and into her fair neck. This drop of sweat, the temperature is surprisingly high. Jun Mo mourns in a certain place, like a volcanic eruption. Feng Lingyan's heart was pounding wildly, her chest heaving uncontrollably. Seeing that Jun Mo Shang didn't take any further action, he hurriedly turned his head again. Perhaps it's an illusion. Under the warm sunshine, those deep and serene eyes were filled with inexplicable and complex emotions. Seemingly suppressed in anger. In the cold, there is a hint of scorching heat. It seems like Jinghao. San Shao. Get up first. Jun Mo Shang's sharp lips lightly pursed and remained silent. The lower jawline is tightly closed, and the Adam's apple is becoming more prominent. Feng Lingyan's pupils shrank and suddenly reacted. He couldn't get up, but his legs couldn't move at all. Wait a moment. Feng Lingyan, don't look away, wriggle like a caterpillar, elbow on the ground, slowly moving back. San Shao, you're pressing on my skirt. Jun Mo Shang supported the ground with one hand and pulled open her skirt hem. Her fair calves were exposed. His deep ink pupils shrank, deep and bottomless black, hiding desires. San Shao, hold on a little longer and you'll be fine soon. Ha! Feng Lingyan finally got up, took a deep breath, and hurriedly went to help Jun Mo Shang. The two of them can stand still. Feng Lingyan was exhausted and panting. San Shao, I'll take you up. Let go. Jun Mo Shang lowered his eyes and glanced at the arm she was holding. Oh. Feng Lingyan immediately let go. Jun Mo Shang grabbed the training poles on both sides again. Feng Lingyan dared not speak much and could only silently retreat. The doctor has already left, and Luo Pingchuan is not here either. She can't leave him here alone. That's too dangerous. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps under the light and shadow, his steps became increasingly firm. As she watched, Feng Lingyan's breathing gradually stabilized, but suddenly a shameful question popped up in her mind. When the two of them hugged each other just now, he seemed to have a reaction, cough. A light cough came from the ear. Feng Lingyan suddenly regained his senses, his cheeks blushing with embarrassment. San Shao, are you going up now? San Shao, be careful. Feng Lingyan helped Jun Mo Shang into a wheelchair and then pushed him out of the rehabilitation room. After training, Jun Mo Shang exuded a male hormone aura all over his body. Feng Lingyan's heart is becoming increasingly restless. San Shao only suffered a leg injury, everything else is normal. Last night, did we actually? If something really happens, you need to take your medicine quickly. Otherwise, it will be troublesome to create a small heir. Along the way, she was all entangled in what happened last night. The man sitting in the wheelchair had a solemn face, an indifferent expression, and a huge wave stirring in his heart. Chapter 8. Making a Face. You are listening at novel full.audio. Feng Lingyan took out a newly developed ointment from her suitcase and walked quickly to the entrance of the master bedroom bathroom. San Shao. Here. Jun Mo Shang has already taken off his shirt, and his sturdy muscles are covered in sweat. Bathroom lighting, soft and bright. Falling down. His well-defined abdominal muscles, strong and powerful arms, covered in a light orange color, emitted an increasingly strong male hormone scent. Feng Lingyan's heart pounded and her pretty face burned like a flame, turning red and hot. She hurriedly turned her head to avoid sight and placed the ointment on the wash basin, whispering softly. After cleansing the skin, apply it thinly once. After 5 minutes, apply it again. San Shao, I'll go down first. Before the other party could respond, she hurriedly ran away. Jun Mo Shang, sitting in a wheelchair, had slightly darkened eyes and his gaze fell on the wash basin. After 2 seconds, she reached out to take what she had put down. Jian, skin-changing cream. On the outer packaging, there are also 2 sparkling gardenia flowers. Apart from that, there is nothing else. This should be a newly developed scar repair product that has not yet been launched. Jun Mo Shang pinched the ointment and turned around, his deep black pupils revealing a faint smile. Feng Lingyan came down from upstairs and went straight to the restaurant. Approaching noon, I haven't eaten yet and feel hungry and thirsty. She poured a glass of warm water and was about to drink when a jealous voice rushed over. You are a lowly servant, how dare you seduce third brother? Let me deal with you. Feng Lingyan frowned slightly, turned around, and looked over. The woman across from her is half a head shorter than her. Wearing a luxurious little fragrant dress, with exquisite makeup and a sparkling jewel all over. To ensure the prosperity of a wealthy family. She is the Miss Yen in the mouth of Luoping River. The 4 top luxury families in Jingshan. Jun, Yen, Yun, Xia. Luo Pingchuan told her that during the period of San Shao's coma, many members of the Yen family fell into the well and laid stones. Even publicly supporting Jun Zhaohe multiple times. Since San Shao left her behind, he also helped her conceal everything. She has to repay him with kindness and help him out. Feng Lingyan's eyes narrowed slightly, and he had a plan in his heart. She lightly curled her lips and casually spoke. Miss Yen, how are you going to deal with me? A smile at the end of my eyes, with a hint of provocation in contempt. You. Yen Jishu choked and couldn't speak, so he waved his hand directly at her. Pup, Feng Lingyan gave a cold smile, exerted force on her wrist, and poured a glass of water all over Yen Jishu's face. Ah ah. Yen Jishu screamed loudly and had to retract his outstretched hand. She pulled her hair and raised her hand to rub her eyes. The effect of branded cosmetics is quite good, and the makeup is not very fancy. It's just that the fake eyelashes don't stick firmly, half stick to the eyelids and the other half hang above the eyes. Look, it's a bit comical. Miss Yen, do you still want to continue? Feng Lingyan held her elbow in one hand and a glass in the other. There was a hint of mockery in the cold and proud gaze. You. The words of Qianjiao and Baichong know that Su has never suffered such a loss. Tearing off the false eyelashes, he bit the corner of his lips in anger and waved his hand again. Pa, this time. Feng Lingyan didn't dodge and was slapped hard. My body shook violently, and the water cup in my hand fell to the ground. Bang, the glass water cup split into pieces in an instant. The shattered edge emits a cold and refreshing light. The corner of Feng Lingyan's eye swept towards the entrance of the restaurant, covering his beaten face. With a blink of his eyelashes, his eyes turned red. Do you dare to hit me? It's you who hit me. You're a lowly servant, dare you seduce my third brother? Slapping you is quite light. Yen Jishu was so domineering that he cursed. Do you know who I am? Feng Lingyan's voice was gentle and trembling. You're just a servant of the West Pavilion, I'll let third brother take you in a moment. Words know that Su disdains the way. Feng Lingyan pursed her lips as if frightened by this sentence, her eyes lowered and she stopped speaking. Why aren't you talking? Aren't you? Servants. The sound of coldness exploded in their ears. Yen Jishu's heart skipped a beat and he turned around. At the entrance of the restaurant, the man sitting in a wheelchair had a stern face and a cold gaze. Yen Jishu's face, full of anger, added a touch of shyness. Third brother, I know. It's all this unscrupulous servant who seduced you. Luo Pingquan, if I let Mao and go in again in the future, I will not spare them lightly. Jun Mo's cold lips lightly parted, and his cold and narrow eyes showed no warmth. San Gu is right, Manager Luo. Why don't you kick her out? Yen Jishu turned to his side and glanced at Feng Lingyan with pride. San Shao, it hurts. Feng Lingyan furrowed her eyebrows and curled her lips towards the man in the wheelchair. Her slender feathered eyelashes were adorned with a row of fine pearl flowers. Without pear blossoms and rain, it is pitiful enough. Little slut, how dare you? Yen Jishu was so angry that he reached out and wanted to slap her. Grandma, Luo Pingchuan pushed Jun Mo Shang over. Yen Jishu's right hand stiffened, his cheeks flushed, and he looked at the man in the wheelchair with embarrassment and fear. Manager Luo, you still call me Yen. Grandma, I'm sorry. It was my subordinate's oversight. Please punish me. Luo Pingchuan lowered his head to face Feng Lingyan. Manager Luo, did you make a mistake? Does it hurt? Jun Mo Shang in the wheelchair looked at the woman in front of him and lightly lifted his thin lips. A smile in the bottom of my eyes, if there is one, it seems to be absent. Feng Lingyan lightly pursed the corner of her lips. The gaze suddenly tightened. San Shao, hitting me is not a big deal, hitting your face is a big deal. The sharp and cold tone is exactly the same as last night. Upon hearing these words, Jun Mo Shang's face darkened instantly, his jawline tightened with a cold and sharp edge, and his pair of ink pupils resembled those of a falcon. Luoping River. Yen Jishu couldn't help but shudder, lost and at a loss. Obviously, she hasn't figured out the situation yet. Miss Yen, this is San Shao's newlywed wife and the hostess of our West Pavilion. Luo Pingquan turned his steps and looked at Yen Jishu, introducing him with a serious expression. What? She's the wife of the third brother. It's just like her. Yen Jishu looked surprised. How could this woman, dressed so shabby, be the mistress of the West Pavilion? Miss Yen, I advise you to apologize to my young grandmother as soon as possible. You hit her like you hit San Shao. You know what kind of person San Shao is. Luo Pingquan lowered his head, comforting with a warning. Yen Jishu twisted his hands together, and his face lost all color. Yes. She splashed me with water first. Miss Yen. Luo Pingchuan sweated for her. Let the Yen family go to Shishan to fetch people. Jun Mo Shang had lost all his patience and ordered coldly. Yes. Luo Pingchuan responded and immediately had two bodyguards drag Yen Jishu away. Third brother. Don't. Feng Lingyan's eyes cooled down and he raised his hand to stroke the beaten cheek. It really hurts a bit. Poor. The man in the wheelchair raised his eyes slightly, his voice slightly cold. It's not as exciting as last night. The wind and smoke raised the corners of my mouth, and my lips curved. The next second, suddenly remembered something. San Shao, have you applied the ointment yet? Chapter 9. Deathday. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Jun Mo Shang, with a cold face, drove his wheelchair to the dining table. San Shao, this ointment has a very good effect. Although it has just been successfully developed, its clinical response is excellent. Wind Lingyan, hurry up and follow. Speaking of Ji Yen, one's eyes are filled with pride. This is her newly developed scar repair cream this year. Using high-tech techniques, extract polymer repair solution from gardenia flowers and add other medicinal herbs to stimulate cell regeneration. To achieve the goal of repairing damaged skin. Jun Mo Shang stopped his wheelchair and looked at her. The shining light in his starry eyes left him slightly stunned. Being in such an environment and laughing so brightly and moving, one's heart is truly extraordinary resilience. His cold gaze fell on her swollen and red face, and her complexion darkened again. San Shao, don't you believe it? Feng Lingyan saw that he remained silent, and his eyes seemed to be filled with questioning. The smile froze. San Shao, I have many clinical trial comparison charts on my phone. Would you like to take a look? As soon as she took out her phone, Zhou's mother came over with ice cubes wrapped in soft cloth. Grandma, let's go over there and apply a face. Thank you, Mom Zhou. Feng Lingyan felt a hint of warmth in her heart. The cold West Pavilion still has warm people. She awkwardly withdrew her phone and followed Zhou's mother to the next lounge. The Luoping River has gone and returned. San Shao, Miss Yen has been sent to Shishan. At the same time, the Yen family has also been notified. Jun Mo Shang had a gloomy expression and remained silent. The low pressure lingering around his body made it clear that he was angry. Shao, during your coma, the Yan family supported the Shao greatly. Originally, there was no clear reason to teach you a lesson. The young lady's slap was a great help. When do I need a woman to help? Jun Mo's face tightened as his three-dimensional features shrouded in gloom. Luopingquan is too atmospheric to take a breath. Don't pretend to be smart in the future. Feng Lingyan finished covering his face and came to the restaurant for a meal. Coincidentally, I heard this sentence. My footsteps stagnated. Is he talking about her? Starry eyes looked over. Luopingquan lowered his head, his chin almost touching his heart. It is obvious that he was scolded. Jun Shao's eyes were gloomy, and the corners of his facial features were tinged with melancholy. This is clearly anger. She was the one who was beaten, what's wrong with her? Difficult or not, it's because I feel sorry for her. 1 second negation. Absolutely impossible. Tang, the third young man of your family, how could he feel sorry for a second married widow? Then he was blaming her, and shouldn't have acted clever, calculating to call him Miss Yan the third brother. The power of the Yan family in Jingshan is second only to that of the Jun family. The several major wealthy families in the capital and mountains have complex interests and intertwined relationships. Even the ruler's family at the tip of the pyramid cannot be alone. Shao has just woken up, although he has regained his position as heir, everything is not yet stable. Offending the speaker at this time is indeed not worth the loss. Feng Lingyan's heart tightened, feeling that she might have caused trouble. Shao, I. As she spoke to explain, his gloomy gaze swept over her. Feng Lingyan's heart trembled. I held back everything I wanted to say. Anxiously walked to the dining table. At the spacious dining table, she and Jun Mo Shang sat down. Two people sit opposite each other. Occasionally, there is a slight overlap in the line of sight. Feng Lingyan immediately staggered, completely afraid to look at the other person. Neither of them spoke. A quiet space, where you can hear a needle drop. Today's dishes are all what Feng Lingyan likes to eat. I don't know if it's just a coincidence or because Jun Mo Shang also loves to eat. She always thinks about what happened these 2 days and her appetite is not very good. Halfway through the meal, Luopingquan came over. Shao, Yan Baichong brought a lot of things over, saying it was to apologize to the young lady. If Shao is still angry, he will bring Miss Yan to come and apologize later. Feng Lingyan looked across, feeling uneasy. Shao, why don't we forget? Are you teaching me how to do things? Jun Mo Shang's cold gaze swept over, with a terrifying aura. How dare I, teach Shao how to do things? Feng Lingyan's delicate porcelain-like face instantly revealed a bright red color. She lowered her curly eyelashes, avoiding the harsh gaze on the other side. The sound is getting lower and lower. The atmosphere in the restaurant is a bit tense. The sudden ringing of the phone broke the frozen atmosphere. Feng Lingyan picked it up and glanced at it, then put down her chopsticks. Shao, I'm sorry, I'll go answer the phone. Jun Mo Shang didn't look at her or make a sound. Feng Lingyan didn't notice the displeasure on his face, got up quickly, and walked out of the restaurant with his phone in hand. Luopingquan couldn't help but worry. The most taboo thing for young people is to use 2 things at once during meals, let alone hastily leave the banquet without proper rules and regulations. The young lady looked gentle and peaceful, obedient and gentle. In fact, he has strong opinions and a strong personality. Next, I don't know what will happen. Jun Mo Shang did not get angry on the spot, but he no longer moved his chopsticks. Silence for a moment. He had a cold face, his deep black pupils twitched for a moment, and the chill spread out. Tell Yan Baichong what he sent. My wife doesn't like it. Yes. Luo Pingquan's heart inexplicably trembled. This is the first time San Shao has called San Shao grandma like this. Very domineering. It seems a bit warm. Starting today, the West Pavilion will close its doors to Greek guests. Yes. Free Shao. Just as Luo Pingquan was about to leave, the cold voice rang out again. In 10 minutes, I need all the information from HY Laboratory. Okay. Free Shao. Luo Pingquan responded and took immediate action. Feng Lingyan left the restaurant and unconsciously walked to the piano in the corner of the hall. Leaning casually on the body of the Qin, wearing a cloud lake-colored long skirt, an indescribable coldness and loneliness. The phone kept ringing, with each sound becoming faster and faster. The curled long eyelashes droop low, making it clear to see the incoming phone number. Under the eyelids, shadows overlap. She was stunned. Slide open the phone screen and answer. Sister-in-law. A warm male voice reached my ears. Both familiar and unfamiliar. Feng Lingyan's eyes trembled with light. Jing Yu. Sister-in-law, where are you? I went to the Feng family to find you, and they said you had already left Ancheng. Tone. Familiar yet somewhat eager. Jing Yu, what can I do for you? The sound of Feng Lingyan was significantly lower. The pain in the lower back is severe, and I don't know if it was crushed in the rehabilitation room. I pinched it with my hands. Sister-in-law. In a few days, it will be Big Brother's death day. I want to go to Jingshan with you to see him. The young man's clear voice was stained with indescribable sadness. He had already tried to suppress his emotions, but it still made Feng Lingyan's mood suddenly heavy. Instantly, the eyes turned red. The day of Jinghao's death. September 21st. There are still 3 days left. He left them for almost 4 years. Previous years. She went alone to the cemetery to worship him. Perhaps the time was missed, and every time I went, I never met anyone from the Jing family. Jing Yu suddenly called her and made plans to come over together, but she couldn't make up her mind for a moment. When Jing Hao was alive, she met Jing Yu a few times. He gave her a very good impression. Sister-in-law, I'm sorry. It was my rudeness. If it's not convenient for you, then forget it. The man on the other end of the phone saw that she hadn't spoken for a while and quickly apologized. I can hear that he is very disappointed. Jing Yu, I promise you. Let's go see him together this year. Feng Lingyan fiercely pressed against the piano, rolled up her pale lips, and whispered softly. Sister-in-law. Then I'll go pick you up then. No need, Feng Lingyan paused. I'll go straight over. Okay. The other person's voice was much easier than before. Feng Lingyan quickly hung up the phone. Keep talking, she's afraid she'll cry. It's not because of the person who called, but because of his phone call that it triggered a longing for Jing Hao. Chapter 10. First Love. You are listening at novelfull.audio. She lost her parents at the age of 12, and her uncles and aunts took advantage of the situation to occupy her home and the happy life of her and her sister. Although it was her home, they seemed to be living under someone else's protection. If it weren't for the elderly grandmother guarding her and her sister, I'm afraid my uncle and aunt would have kicked them out long ago. In that lonely life, Jing Hao was like a beam of light, illuminating her life and filling her with hope for the future. He was eager to take her out of the sea of suffering, wanting to take care of her in a proper manner. As soon as the legal age was reached, the two of them obtained their certificates. Unexpectedly, on his wedding night, he had a sudden accident and left her forever. Memories roll and roll. Feng Lingyan's lower back pain became increasingly severe, and she couldn't stand up, so she sat down on the piano bench. The mist rising from my eyes condensed into beads and dripped onto the back of my fair hand. This phone call, like a sharp stone, completely shattered her frozen heart lake. full of thoughts, eager to confide. She put down her phone and opened the piano cover. Green onion-like fingers glide over the black and white piano keys. The vast hall is shrouded in entanglement and seclusion. Not far away, the wheelchair heading towards the elevator stopped for a moment. The man sitting above had a sinister and terrifying expression on his face. Young lady. Feng Lingyan faintly heard Luo Pingchuan calling her, his fingertips paused, and he looked up. With a blink of an eye, someone drove a wheelchair into the elevator. At the moment the elevator door closed, she saw Jun Mo Shang's cold, deep, and gloomy black face. Stuck for a moment. What's wrong with San Shao? Are you still angry about Miss Yen Er's situation? She frowned, her expression becoming increasingly solemn. A few seconds passed. Fingers tapped the black and white keys again. She played Chopin's Farewell. At this moment, this melancholic melody perfectly fits her current mood. Farewell. Life and death. It is integrated into every note. Young lady, stop quickly. After less than 5 minutes of playing, Luo Pingquan rushed towards him. Manager Luo, do I play very poorly? Feng Lingyan's eyebrows furrowed slightly with a hint of displeasure. She is at the level of the chief pianist of the Philharmonic Orchestra, and even if she hasn't played for a while, she won't be so harsh as to scare Luo Pingchuan's face white. Luo Pingchuan's body trembled and he immediately shook his head. The young lady plays very well. But don't touch this piano again in the future. Why? San Shao doesn't like listening. Feng Lingyan frowned. Or is it that he doesn't like listening to such music? I don't like it. Luo Pingchuan's expression was complicated. I don't like it. What are you doing here? Is it tacky? Feng Lingyan raised her eyebrows and glanced at the second floor. Young lady, really don't touch it again in the future. Luo Pingquan lowered his head, as if there were some unspoken secrets. Okay. I got it. Feng Lingyan stood up, closed the piano cover, and went to the restaurant. Grandma, can I heat up the food for you again? Zhou's mother saw that she only had a little lunch and was worried that she might not be full. No need. Hiding her worries, she really can't eat them. I poured a glass of warm water and took 2 sips. Walk up to Zhou's mother and ask. Mom Zhou, did I just play very poorly? Why didn't Manager Luo let me touch that piano again? Grandma, please keep your voice down. Zhou's mother quickly tugged at her clothes, looking flustered. What's wrong with you all? Feng Lingyan felt even more puzzled when she and Luo Pingchuan were so secretive. Grandma, that piano. San Shao never lets anyone touch it. Zhou's mother whispered when she saw no one around. Not allowed to touch. So precious. Young lady, you just played so beautifully, even better than Miss Yen, but you feel a bit sad. Zhou's mother couldn't bear to see her down, so she spoke up to comfort her. Miss Yen. The one who just saw me off. Feng Lingyan was taken aback. No, Zhou Mama shook her head. No. Zhou's mother has no children, and she inexplicably likes Feng Lingyan at first sight. Seeing her beaten, I felt very sorry. There are some things that I don't want to hide from her. Young lady, there are 2 young ladies in the Yen family. The one who came today is Miss Er. Are you talking about Miss Yen of the Yen family? Wind and smoke react extremely quickly. After a pause, the rim of the cup pressed against the chin. San Shao and her. San Shao and Miss Yen have been childhood sweethearts and have been in love since childhood. That piano was an engagement gift that San Shao prepared to give to Miss Yen. Zhou Mama's expression was melancholic, with a slight redness at the end of her eyes. Feng Lingyan's heartbeat accelerated and her body suddenly stiffened. Unexpectedly, San Shao is not as rumored. Not close to women, single and independent. He not only has a marriage partner, but their relationship is also very close. The best way for wealthy and powerful individuals to maintain and expand their interests is through marriage alliances. But on both sides of the marriage alliance, most people are like Jun Shujin and Yun Siya. Each in their own position, taking what they need, and each in peace. There are few people like San Shao and Miss Yen who share the same feelings. Feng Lingyan understood, but her heart seemed to have been stung by a bee. Inexplicably stinging. "Grandma, don't think too much, it's all over now." "I understand." "Zhou Mom, don't worry. I won't touch that piano again." Who doesn't have the joy of youth? That is the most beautiful memory of life. She is the same. That piano, quaint and luxurious, looks like a global exclusive edition. Miss Yen must be very passionate about playing the piano, that's why San Shao fell in love with her. San Shao and Miss Yen have such a good relationship, why haven't they gotten married? On the eve of their engagement, San Shao had an accident. The Yen family heard that San Shao might never wake up, so they immediately proposed to withdraw from their marriage and sent Miss Yen out of the country. Sigh. Zhou Mama blushed and sighed. The speaker is also too unkind. Feng Lingyan instinctively cursed. In a moment of silence, she rolled her lips at Zhou's mother. "Mom Zhou, thank you for telling me this." Zhou's mother gave her a loving smile. "Turn around and go pack the utensils." Feng Lingyan leaned against the glazed platform, frowning and continuing to drink water. The West Pavilion and the Yen family surprisingly have such a past. No wonder the speaker would humbly request San Shao's forgiveness. It seems that she didn't get this slap in vain. However, the other party doesn't seem to appreciate it. Miss Yen, if she knew that San Shao had already woken up, would she come back to find him to continue her relationship? After all, the childhood love cannot be said to be forgotten. Moreover, it is still a character like San Shao who is extremely ordinary. So, San Shao, does he still remember his first love? The heart of Feng Lingyan rose and fell, finally hanging in mid-air. Forget it. I don't think so. Buzzing, Feng Lingyan's phone shook. Memorandum. Prompt. 2:00 in the afternoon. Ji Yen is expected to participate in the third round of group meetings.